Should be the right one.
Are we live?
Yes,
Hey.
we are live.
Good morning, etc. everyone. This is episode 308 of the OotiniCast. Semi-bi-weekly, though the semi part is not so sure. We do seem to be pretty consistently bi-weekly at this time. So, you know, that may change, but I don't know. Yeah. Time, you see, time. Talk more about that later. But anyway, we have returning guest, Yvonne. She'll introduce him properly, but here's our musical expert, consultant, professional composer. What can we say? The man is a genius. So
That sounds. I'll take that. That sounds good.
It's even accurate.
It's even accurate.
It's
Wow.
even accurate. No hyperbole here, sir. All right. Now, anything else we have to do? You are both recording. I will tweet out right now. Has someone actually...
Yep.
Yep,
Sorry about the
Destiny
delay.
looks good.
So let me just briefly tell everyone about that who's happening to watch the live stream. We have a Google Hangout. Twitch, Chill streams out via Twitch. It stopped working for me from Chrome a while ago, so I switched to Firefox. Firefox stopped the usage of add-ons, so it doesn't work at all. And then Chrome, it turns out, if you have hardware acceleration enabled, you can't stream from Twitch. Who would have thought? I know. Anyway,
No.
I happened to figure that out last week, so we're good again. Everything's fine. I'm still in the process of tweeting because I can't do more than one thing at a time. All right, and we do have. Remind me to. We want to talk about Decion's event in our guild.
Oh yeah.
Utini 500. If you
Word.
remind me, please. If
Okay.
actually,
That was fun.
I'll
That
do
thing is
that
fun.
I'll do that in my week because I've got nothing else to talk about. Dex event. All right. One moment. Nearly.
Okay. Oh, and I put part of my thing in the tips of the week because I saw we didn't have enough tips of the week, so I moved a chunk of it in there, which is
Cool.
a tip. It's a tip.
Yes, and perfect. Thank you. Because we
Okay.
don't have any other tips, so he's going to get the
Yeah.
crate and the pet. Do you already have
Excellent.
both pets by any chance?
I do need one of them. Yeah.
There you
I'll
go.
figure that one. Yes.
Whichever one it is, tell me.
Dude.
And
Okay.
it's yours. All right,
Word.
Ducky's event. Sorry, Deck. Ducky's event. And yes, I'm a software engineer, and no, I don't ever use Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge unless my employer forces me to use IE because they're terrible sometimes. All right, Jill, let's do this.
All right, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast. You truly belong here with us among the clouds. This is episode 308, being recorded on Thursday, May 18th, 2017. I'm your host, Jill, with our producer and co-host, Tio. Hi, Tio.
Hey, guys.
And our guest today is musical guest composer Yvonne. How you doing, Yvonne?
Hello. What's going down? How you guys
Well,
doing? It's been a while.
I've been looking forward to this ever since I heard you were able to come on. So, I've been missing your musical insights, so I'm
Yeah, it's
looking
been a
forward to
while.
that a little bit later
I got
for the
some
Sarlacc
stuff prepped.
Digest.
Yeah.
Excellent. And what have you been up to since last time you were on?
Oh my God. Well, I'll keep it short.
It's been a little while, yeah.
In real life, I just got a pilot, which I'm really excited about. Takes a lot of work ahead of me.
Like a
but
TV pilot?
yeah, one of those, one of them, their internet TV show type shows.
Like a
AKA
Netflix
Hulu
or a...
Netflix Plus. One of them's.
Right, or Amazon or whatever those. Mhm.
Yeah, but that's
Cool.
It's a lot of work. It's going to be good. In the game, I finally found myself enjoying Galactic Command. After hating it like a lot of people and thinking it sucked. And then once they fixed it, I realized, oh my God, I like opening command crates, and it actually kind of fits my play style. I like to do a little bit of everything, and I love coming out of a raid and having like 5 of those things or more to open. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's true.
And when they buffed it, it was way better. I just feel bad for the people who did the early grind on it. But I enjoy it now. I haven't
So
finished either.
it has got significantly better, is your impression?
That's how I feel.
Okay.
For those who only do one type of play, I think maybe it's not as much fun, like the hardcore raiders, I don't know, but it's just given me different reasons to play and to finally finish leveling
Right.
other stuff that was at like 60 or 52. And
Sure.
yeah, I don't know, it's kind of like the same feeling as leveling, obviously, and I think they know what they're doing. They've got us all addicted to like progression. So I've had a lot of fun. I actually, actually this is related. I haven't finished IOCath yet because leveling and gearing multiple alts past 70 seemed to be more fun for some reason. I mean, how weird is that I found more fun doing that than the urge to do the new story? I can't really explain that. So I've been doing a lot of leveling. Yeah, like you, Chill.
Can't blame you,
leveling alts.
honestly.
Lastly, running Tithe quite a bit with my girlfriend, who also plays SWTOR, and some other new friends. Did some
Nice.
Tithe, and did a couple of hard modes, and actually did kind of okay. And I got to say, the characterization for Tithe I kind of dislike it. It's Darren DePaul, right, who does the voice of Tithe.
Yes.
Apparently,
So he told us.
Yeah, you guys tell me, but like, it's the God of Rage or whatever, and he sounds like the Master Blaster boss, and it's kind of funny. And you're kind of like, why does he have this like dorky voice? Isn't he supposed to be like a badass god from like ancient IOCath? And he's like, Rage. So I found that to be disappointing, but it's still fun, of course, and playing with the right people and enjoying like a little progression is really cool. Or people who are able to make a little progress, and something new, a new operation, kind of amazing. So. I just wish I had more time to play. I found some, but not enough. And that's pretty much my week. That's my year, guys. That's my year.
Excellent. All right, Tia, what have you been up to?
Very much like Yvalon, I also would like to find the time to play. So, yeah, last couple of weeks have been kind of crazy busy with work, where things are getting really intense, and study. I have an assignment due, which I'm pretty much finished, but then I've got to study for an exam in a month. And, family. Did I mention the family? My son's now 3 months old. My daughter is getting towards 2, but just crazy. And anyway, lots of excuses. I'm just busy. But once the school part of that, the university part of that is out of the way, maybe I will actually have some time. We'll know by mid-June with Game Update 5.2.2 is apparently arriving around then, and some more good stuff is changing according to Keith. So I'll be looking forward to that. Maybe then, finally, I'll be able to get back into it. Anyway, instead of talking about what I didn't do, I wanted to mention an event within our guild, the Utini Guild. This one is being hosted by our guildmate and friend who has been on the show, Ducky. And it's an Utini race on Tatooine. 4 character perks we use to increase the... Hang on. Sorry, I'm just reading this for the first time. Jack just sent it through. So what's it called, guys? Let me just get this straight. It's the Utini 500 pod race. It's an Utini race on Tatooine before character perks we use to increase speed.
Okay.
So it'll be announced, course will be announced at the event, so you can't actually practice the route beforehand. But they suggest you open up as much of the Tatooine map as possible. So it sounds like they're going to send you who knows where. And if you recall Tatooine, it is a big-ass planet.
How do they keep you from cutting corners, right? Like, how do they keep you from, like, just barely cutting in everybody else on that corner? Somebody standing there to make sure you go around the cone, you know what I'm saying?
And Ducky has just clarified that in Game Update 5.2.2 there will be perks to increase speeder rate. That's right. We'll talk about that later. Keith has said it will go up to potentially 120, 130%. Wow. Sorry, keep going.
When do we get that
I
flying
think when they did it on Hoth, one of the main things that they did was everyone was in a raid group, and so the judge, the person who was putting it together, could actually see everyone on the map and watch and just kind of make sure that that they weren't going somewhere where they really weren't supposed to. Although part of the fun of that one was that you were, I mean, there were certain things you had to go outside of, but the exact route you took was up to you, and it definitely made a huge difference.
Oh, more
and
like
it wasn't always
checkpoints.
obvious.
Like, get to this checkpoint, get to that checkpoint.
Yeah, there's a couple of
That's
checkpoints,
cool.
exactly.
Cool. All right. There'll be prizes for first, second, and third place for both the hunt and the race. The hunt, you say, where in the world of Tatooine is Carmen? There'll be another ducky incarnation somewhere out there in the Dune Sea, which is one of the big areas in Tatooine, and a whole lot of nothing unless you like sand, unlike Anakin. So if you can find Ducky, obviously you win the hunt. There'll be prizes, and the Find Carmen hunt will be first. Wow, could have screwed that one up. And once that is complete, a lineup for the Ootini 500. So thank you, Ducky, for organising that, and a good time will be had by all. Oh, I should mention this is on June the 3rd. So more details will be probably on the Ootini Guild website. I'll link to that from our show notes. So thank you, Ducky, for organising that. And that wasn't really my week, though I should mention I'm wearing the shirt that we got from the Cantina. Very awesome. With the
slow clap. That's all. I want one. Lucky.
Yeah, you'll get there, mate. You'll get there.
I missed that so much. I watched you guys cast from there. It looked like so much fun.
It was.
It was a blast.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Anyway, over to you, Chill.
All right, first a shout out to the chat room. We've got Anu here, Dekion, Elion, D2, Evan04111, Fiona is here, Higster, Ivalon is here as Ivalon_Twitch, Jedi Psy-Frog, Libaroha, former guest is here, Rjar75, Severities, Siskaika, Sludgester, Squishy Twitchy, and Swotor are all here. Hello, everyone. Yeah, so what I did in the game mainly was I got Chill Snap well into Kotfi. I think as of the last show I had him at up to 70 already. In any case, he's definitely 70 now, but I've been working through Kotfi. Now in the second half of Kotfi, pushing towards the big conclusion that will then get us to Kotet. It was my sort of favorite part was to see the reunion between him as a Sith warrior and Vet. Very interesting, yeah, and quite a bit different from just when a regular character meets her for the first time, and just enjoying it overall as well. So that was really excellent. I also listened to the Audible version of Star Wars Rebel Rising, which tells the story of Jyn Erso, basically sort of filling in the gaps between the childhood scenes that you see at the beginning of Rogue One and then what brings her to that prison vehicle when she's brought into the rebellion proper. Cool. Lots of stuff going on, of course. Lots of mentions of Saw Gerrera because they have a history as well. So it ties into multiple parts of the movie, and when you read like the Rogue One novelization, which is good, it's tied pretty tightly, understandably, to what you see on the screen. What they have to add is usually kind of minor. This one, because it could stray a little further afield, it had a little, there was a little, the reins were a little looser, and it was, so for me at least, it was a little bit more interesting because of that. So, there was a few surprises, I thought. I may have to watch Rogue One again to see whether it alters how I view any of the scenes. And overall, I did like it. So, good stuff.
Have you guys noticed how Saw Gerrera seems to have entered the pantheon of like great Star Wars character? Like you've got your Yoda voice, you got your Darth Vader voice, you got Jar Jar, you've got like Bane. You've got Bane from like the Dark Knight. And then we've got Saw Gerrera with all that business about like Morgellon and all the crazy stuff that he says. Lies! I freaking love this guy, dude. This is genius. The biggest piece of genius in the whole movie, I say.
Yeah, exactly. And you can tell. One of the nice things is his voice, the raspiness and the hoarseness of it, sort of ties in with the fact that he needs to, sort of suck off that oxygen tank or whatever it is,
right?
Or maybe it's medicine of some sort. But
oh yeah, medicine. Yeah, it's
medicine.
Yeah,
right. And then. Yeah, and then the nice touch when he throws it away as he sees, this doom falling on him, which is awesome.
He does? I didn't catch that. He throws it away?
Yeah, he pulls it out from his chest and just chucks it to the side.
Should have just taken a big, long gasp, depending on what's in it, of course.
Just like turn off the filter and just give it a guzzle, you know? Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, all right. So that will bring us to the tip of the week. And Ivlan, are you going to do your tip of the week here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Go for it.
It's an elaborate tip, you guys. And I figure we should put it in the tip section, right? Right?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
I literally wrote this down like months ago and just never sent it in. So, okay. You know how you got to feed your companion those gifts, right? 1 gift, 2 gift, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably tired of hearing like HK51 saying, "You ration supplies well, master," like 50,000 times. Well, we've all been there. You put it on you drag it to a hotkey, you turn on like Netflix, and you just spam that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. But
I can't believe you got your hands on this. Thanks. I can't believe you got your hands on this. Thanks. Yeah.
G-Boss. Yeah, I don't even know. Some of them are funny, but 50,000 times not funny. So, of course, the problem, though, is you really can't tell exactly when to press it again, right? And then they added those awesome character perks where, you know, if you buy the character perks, you can press it sooner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, dude, let's get out the metronome and just time these. So I got out the old metronome.
Who would have thought of that?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, who would have thought? Actual time.
That's genius.
So here's we got my metronome going. So we got, okay, no perks. Okay, we don't have any credits. We don't have any cartel coins. No perks.
And you're not using anything else to speed up your...
Nothing at all. You're just going to hit the gift.
No gear.
No gear. Yeah, you're just going to hit that gift. So it turns out chord note equals 136, or as the DJs might say, 136 BPM, yo. But 136 is tempo, right? 2 bars of that. 1, 2. Okay, so you can hit it every 2 bars. So boom. Boom.
Okay.
That's how long it takes.
Wow, that's painful.
Long.
It is
Turns
a long
out,
time.
though,
Yeah.
why not just listen to 2 bars of Love Shack? Okay, same tempo. So you turn on Love Shack, and then I won't, I will not do the disservice of playing Love Shack for you. But should that be your favorite song, crank that up and just Love Shack and every 2 bars, right? 1, 2.
I thought HK would be annoying after 50,000 times, but oh my god.
Now the good news is, if you happen to be, more like you were not born in the 1970s, you could listen to Sorry for Party Rockin', same tempo. All right, LMFAO for the kids. So we hit that, the kids from last decade. We're not kids anymore. So same tempo. Okay. Now if you get the first perk, it's now 162 beats per minute. Yeah, 162, a lot faster. Okay. Boom.
You're going to be selling a lot of perks for Bioware, I suspect, by the end of this. But yeah, once people realize how much faster, yeah.
Now, the song, if you're like old school, you like the 60s, you're going to go with James Brown, I Feel Good. You know?
Na-na-na-na-na-na.
Exactly, every 2 bars.
Na-na-na-na. So the second time you hear na-na-na-na-na-na is when it's done.
Yeah, pretty much. So like, I feel good. I knew that I would. Right? Okay. Or Happy by Pharrell. Happy by Pharrell. I can take that song for a couple hours. Or,
Really?
my personal favorite, Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. That's one that I can definitely put on repeat.
Okay.
Either any one of those songs. That was sarcasm. So now, if you get the next one, it's now this is cool. No longer do we have to do 2 bars. We only have to do 1 bar. Okay. Now we're at the next perk. So the tempo is slower, but
It's every bar. Every 4 beats.
every bar.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Rock Your Body by Justin Timberlake. I mean, I like it. Okay. If you're from the South, you can do Sweet Home Alabama. Okay, but I don't recommend it. I personally. You know what's cool is, like, if it's a song like that unfortunately we've all heard about 50,000 times already, you don't even have to listen to it, right? Just imagine it in your head and you can do this. It's actually really cool. It works. It totally works. Okay, the last one, if you get the highest perk, it's 152 beats per minute, and it's every bar. So it's
Wow. I need that perk. clearly.
It's super fast. It's crazy fast.
Yeah,
Like you're feeding them to them faster than they can say it. You're like, thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. It's like really cool.
Yeah, a lot of times they will skip a gift or two before they say their little phrase again.
Exactly. You're right. Especially with this one turned on, they can't say it. They just can't say it fast enough. They're so thrilled with their influence. So the songs for this one, I personally would go with "Message in a Bottle" by The Police.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or if you like Gwen Stefani, you can go with "Don't Speak" by No Doubt. Yeah.
Oh yeah, both of those
Pretty
are good.
cool. Pretty cool. And of course, it turns out you can like Google these tempos because DJs suck and they have to Google their tempos and they can figure out what song is at what tempo. I just said that.
I'm detecting a lot of DJ hate here, mate.
Oh, not real. I mean, I'm being sarcastic, but I'm a fan of the space bar too. So, yeah, that's my tip. I think it's like kind of awesome when I did that because I felt like I said, you don't even have to actually listen to them. You can just imagine them, and you can kind of do it while you're doing something else, and you don't waste any time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Pretty cool. That's my tip.
Nice one.
Thanks. Well, if you want to, you are by default the winner of a Tonfon.
I'm the only tip. Oh, give me that droid. Give me the droid.
Will do.
Okay.
It'll be on its way.
Then you're the winner of an M8 3R droid pet code.
You
could have also of course, you could have also chosen the Tonfon, courtesy of BioWare and an OotiniCast provided cartel market pack from the latest shipment. And if you'd like a chance to win the same, please send your tips to OotiniCast@gmail.com by next Wednesday. That will bring us to the holo feed. Tio?
Well, we've got a fair amount to talk about, but oddly enough, let's start with the Windows Creator Edition update.
Oh, boy.
The what? Yes, unless you actually pay attention, these things just sort of turn up in Windows 10 without you doing anything. In fact, you don't have a choice because it forces you to reboot and install it. Anyway, so the Creators Update is the one that just came out. If you want to know whether you've got it or not, because you probably haven't realized, it would have taken a bit of an update. It has to reboot a few times to put that one in place. Go to your Windows settings, and in the About, you could just put About on the Cortana search. It's version 1703. Or if you're that or any higher, you've definitely got the Creator Edition. So what's in the Creator Edition, you may ask? Well, a whole lot of crap, really. But Paint 3D? Yes. Paint.
Hey.
Microsoft Paint, but updated for 3D. Woo.
Fancy.
Yeah, and a whole lot of other things.
By force-fed.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Because remember, there will never be a Windows 11. Windows 10 is it. They're just going to keep iterating on it. Can't wait for them to change their mind on that one, but at least for now, it's Windows 10. Now, why am I talking about the Windows Creators Update, you may ask? Well, apparently it has had a few issues for SWTOR. Specifically, players that have updated Windows 10 to this edition experience an issue in SWTOR that causes it to crash to desktop. Yes, that's not good. Primarily being caused by being alt-tabbed out of the game and focusing on another window while SWTOR is open and loading, which could happen only too often, so that's not good. Now, they do have 3 workarounds, which some people have had some success with, which means your mileage may vary. Or kilometerage, if you're... Anyway. Disable VSync on your video card is one way. Disable game mode in Windows. What's game mode, you may ask? That came with Creator Update as well. If you go into your settings, you will now see the Xbox symbol with a game, with a... What's it say? Game mode. Click on that and you'll get a little button, a toggle button that says use game mode on or off. So if it's causing problems with SWTOR, make that off. Apparently it switches it on by default. And what does game mode do? Well, officially it says it ensures you play your games with the best possible experience, but it does stuff to make games
Windows loves crashes.
Yes, unless your game is SWTOR. And finally, in Windows, disable the full screen optimization option that's in your SWTOR settings. Do all 3, do 1, who knows? Do as much as you need to stop it crashing, and they will fix it eventually. But yes, this will be a patch to the game. There's no other way to fix the client.
On the fly here, I just checked. I do not have that update yet, so it'll be interesting to see when it pushes out to me what happens to SWTOR.
I think I got mine. Mine was just force fed this morning, so I'll let you know.
Yeah. I'm sure mine's coming then.
Yeah, the way that Microsoft have been doing it is they sort of trickle it out, which means that when they horribly break people, they only horribly break a small subset of the population rather than everyone. So anyway, yes. So that's that. Let's move on. If you've been doing Black Talon or the SLS, you may have noticed you're not getting a lot of Command XP. In fact, you're getting none. And that is 100% intended. The reason is they are not balanced for level 70 characters, which means you can sort of romp through them. And so, yes, anyway. That being said, they say they realise this inconsistency can be confusing. And so the team is discussing if changes are warranted. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, team. Maybe they'll give some token amount, which means you're still effectively getting none, but you're getting a little bit, so it doesn't feel like none. So it's okay. Now, just a quick word on the M4Y6 droid pet from May the 4th Day and Star Wars Day on May the 4th. Apparently they have all been granted. They did extend the deadline, so you could have logged in anytime up until the 9th of May and you will have got the pet, but if you haven't got it by now, you're not going to get it because you presumably didn't log in. If you did log in, contact support because something went horribly, horribly wrong. Now, if you're one of those lucky players who play on the Harbinger, such as our good selves, when we actually play, but obviously, anyway, they had a bit of a problem during... Yeah, they were offline for, it was at least many hours. Do you recall how long it was, Ivalon?
It was on and off for like 24 hours because we had in our Discord, it was everybody in the Utini Discord was kind of communicating on that and checking with SWTOR bot. And it was like, maybe Dekion and others, Ducky can correct us, but I think it was like over a 24-hour period. It was just off and on.
Yeah.
So,
they were talking about rollbacks, but it sounds like they did manage to some extent, limit the damage. It would only affect people who logged in after maintenance. So if you hadn't logged in by since then, and before they actually resolved all this stuff, you're probably okay. So the kind of things that could have happened is the primary scenario, you could be missing an item. If you had an item disappear from your inventory off your character and then place an item over the top of it, it's just gone. So yeah, sounds like they had some kind of database issues. But yeah, they're going to try to work it out and send those items back to people. But if it doesn't turn up, you're supposed to submit a customer service ticket. How they resolve these things, I'll never know, because who knows what their audit trail's like, especially when databases and problems are involved, because it's all just gone. But yeah, anyway. So yes, anyway, they did eventually fix it. So hopefully no one was too badly affected by that.
I think everybody was assuming it was going to be massive rollbacks, so if it wasn't, that's good news.
Indeed. And apparently it wasn't, so that's good.
Whew.
All right, now Keith has been talking about that roadmap. He mentioned it at the cantina, where we all were, of course. And it is coming. It is most definitely coming. And he is saying by the end of the month or a bit earlier. So we're only midway through June. Well, getting towards the end of June, so it could turn up any day, but no later than the end of May.
Okay.
But he's got some teasers for us, some highlights, if you like. Now, this is what is intended for Game Update 5.2.2, which I mentioned earlier, which is scheduled for mid-June. And yes, he confirms that is 2017, this year. Nashida, what's the hut word for it? Suvada,
Nightlife. Oh, yeah.
the nightlife event, is coming back. It returns with the old rewards, such as Rancor, and some awesome new rewards. Let me guess. A big Scout Walker.
Yeah, a skin.
Yeah.
And all the people who have already for two different times still couldn't get that Rancor, they can go back in there and try again.
I didn't say the end of June, did I? Yeah.
I think you did. It confused me, but I wasn't sure what you meant, so...
Okay, maybe I'll just delete it, but end of May, maybe I'll cut that back in later, but I probably won't. Now, we also mentioned the perks to increase your speed of piloting speed from 120 the maximum of 110% to either 120% or 130%.
Cool.
Oh my god. Companions will...
perk means per, like, each character's going to pay the amount, right? Like,
Correct.
Oh, boy.
As opposed to legacy-wide. Yes, indeed. Companions will gain influence through standard crew skill missions.
OMG.
That is actually excellent. So
Wow. That's
really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
Thank God.
Yep.
Crafters unite in joy and harmony.
Full Tier 1 gear, that is for all Tier 1 gear slots, Keith have subsequently confirmed, will be available from existing fleet vendors using command tokens. So you don't have to get them out of crates, you can just buy them with command tokens, apparently.
Okay.
You can obtain a full bonus gear set for under 800 command tokens. So great.
Wow.
So you'll be able to fill out any slots you didn't get out of crates for Tier 1. Obviously only Tier 1, we are now up to Tier 4.
It effectively makes it really easy for everybody to have a set bonus. Is that how I understand it?
Yeah,
like it'll
pretty
be
much.
much easier. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you're missing
Yes,
a
sir.
slot, okay, cool.
That's great. And you'll be able to choose the type of gear you want to purchase from DPS, tank, or healer, which means more vendors.
See, the vendors are confusing the crap out of me. The last time I went to the vendors, I was like, really? I mean, the Tier 4 isn't with the Tier 1, 2, 3, and da-da-da-da, and da-da-da. And there's all these other characters who are not vendors who are, like, animated. But
How ironic.
It's just so confusing now.
Well, I guess when they've originally did the whole command rank, command XP, everything, galactic command system, that the vendors would have been lonely because there were so few of them, and now they've got all their friends back and more.
Yeah, way to simplify, guys. Way to simplify. That's
indeed.
hilarious.
The vendors
15,000.
union is becoming stronger.
And they have made a variety of changes to GSF Galactic Starfighter, primarily aimed at reducing the cost, increasing requisition rewards, offering all players a gunship and bomber as standard ships available in your hangar.
My
Wow.
first bomber.
Indeed.
Yay.
And my first gunship. I can't remember if I actually did buy one of each. I don't remember. Probably not. But now, you just get them. So, like we didn't pay for them. Anyway, more roadmap updates as he has them, and expect it sometime towards the end of May.
Sweet. It sounds like he really is a fan. You can tell he really is. He said he was a player and a fan,
Yes.
so
Yes.
a lot of that stuff is pretty dope.
Having spoken to him face to face, I can say that with 100% accuracy. Yes.
Really? Did he give you guys any other cool tips? Come on, give us the juice.
He gave some useful tip or some really cool thing to Dekion and Fee, which they declined to share with us, so you can pump them for information.
Thanks, Gildy.
Separately.
Yeah, thanks. Thought we were friends. Give it up, Gildies.
Now, someone asked a question, why aren't weapons a part of the outfit designer? Obviously, this has come up any number of times. That is, why can't you have weapons and make them part of the outfits that you can switch, rather than just your default weapon being the one that you see? And apparently they've been discussing this one a lot recently.
Cool.
And they're working on how they can fit it into the schedule for this year. And someone asked, so why have you been keeping it back? Isn't it kind of obvious? And they said, this was Keith, or was this Charles? Anyway, it comes down to priorities. They've been very focused on features that supported story chapters and gameplay. Boo. So this didn't make it to the top of the list. I mean, gameplay is good, story, whatever. But this year, they've shifted some of our focus to broader features that improves the overall gameplay experience and add better customization and convenience options. You know, all the other stuff. So with that in mind, it makes sense to see if they can do this. Weapons on the outfit designer.
Yeah.
And expect some more posts from Charles Boyd, because he really doesn't post very much.
Yeah, he's been kind of elusive.
Indeed. But with Keith being the very definition of garrulous, he's sort of leading by example. So yes, awesome. All right, packs. Let's talk about cartel packs, our favorite topic.
Oh God.
The only time I buy packs is when I'm giving them as prizes. So anyway, not Les setting a good example, but anyway, currently when you open a pack, this is with all of the packs prior to the Steadfast Champion pack, which came out this week, when you open them, you got 2 items. and each one of those items had a chance of being a Grand Chance Cube. And you also got a couple of miscellaneous items, either Java Scrap or companion gifts. Now, starting with this Steadfast Champion pack, which just came out on the Tuesday, May 16. When you open one of those packs, you will get one new pack item, one Grand Chance Cube, and two miscellaneous items, same as before, Java Scrap and companion gifts. But, so as opposed to the probability of getting two Grand Chance Cubes, which did kind of happen sometimes, this time you'll definitely get an item, you'll definitely get a Chance Cube. And remember, a Chance Cube can have, well, pretty much anything in it. Anything.
Right.
It is literally from the entire loot table, I believe. So,
isn't this kind of a nerf? Because they're saying that you used to be able to get two pack items sometimes. So I don't know what the
get two
statistics are.
Grand Chance Cubes.
yes.
Yeah, you could, yeah, I get that. But this feels like a spin, right? Like, oh, it's better.
But it is better, you see, because they're getting rid of, well, let me tell you, they're getting rid of bronze items.
Okay.
So now, instead of the chance of a bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, the item will always be silver, gold, or platinum. No bronze.
Okay, but only one of them, for sure.
Only one of them.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's cool.
And they're not going to be making bronze anymore, apparently. So our focus is to ensure the new items in each pack are of the highest quality, giving you greater value for your investment. And when they define the quality, internally they appear to be, it's more or less the amount of art effort or resource that goes into designing each of those items. So a bronze item sounds like they can pump that out in X hours, whereas silver, etc., take more than X hours. And so now you're getting the higher cost items in terms of development time.
That's cool.
Yeah, and apparently people were saying now unlock costs are going to be that much higher because there's no bronze stuff. So, and silver, gold, etc. cost more to unlock in your collections. And they're saying, yes, they're aware of it. No changes currently planned, but they'll see what they can do in the future.
As someone who may or may not purchase hyper crates now and then, repetitively,
Sure.
I don't like this. I mean, I guess getting rid of bronze is good because they were basically always worth crap on the GTN. But that's just that's what will happen to silver, right? Silver will just so I don't know. It sounds to me like it's a nerf. It sounds to me like they are finding ways to give us less gear and more, less of the stuff we actually bought the crate for. That's what it feels like, to be honest. But I don't know what the statistics are on that. I don't know how statistics work.
But you will know what you're getting in advance. But I see what you mean, because you only get one of them. Just one. And the chance of anything.
And less of the cubes, I guess, right? Less cubes, hopefully.
It probably... I think the chance of getting a cube was like 45%, I seem to remember hearing somewhere. So you'll probably get slightly more cubes on average, I think.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. But remember... Even though it could be literally anything, it's probably something. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, you can get something amazing out of the cube, too, right? Yeah, so that's true.
Yeah, you could. And you could get struck by lightning.
I think I did.
All these things can happen.
Yeah, I think I did get struck by lightning, but when I opened a cube, I got someone's dancer pants. So, you tell me.
Right.
Now,
I got a comment from the chat here from Liba Aroha. I'm absolutely confuzzled by your accent. Talking to me, you pronounce your A's in two different ways. Yeah, sorry about that. Chance and dance and dance.
Too much time in the
I'm just
States,
confused. Dude. I literally do switch. So anyway.
We're turning them into a Yankee.
Which one do you guys say? How would you say it?
Blade
Chance
dance.
and
Blade
dance.
Blade dance.
Yeah,
see
blade
that?
dance.
It sounds a lot better than blade dance, which is more the natural Australian way of pronouncing it. So. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, that was a complete diversion from non-SWTOR. Now, we have one final bit of SWTOR-specific news to talk about, and that's story stuff, lore. Yes, really. So, someone asked about the justification for how a Sith pureblood could end up as a character in the Inquisitor storyline where they're a slave. Isn't that right? Slave. Yes, we all got sick of hearing that. Slave. So anyway, this player had a couple of theories. One was that the Sith pureblood had fallen into disgrace with a much higher Lord or Darth, and that in turn cast the family down and enslaved them. That kind of makes sense, I guess. Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Slavery is inherited with the Empire. Could have been how a pureblood Inquisitor ended up being a slave, because the family went down. Yeah, okay. And his other theory was one of the parents of the Sith pureblood Inquisitor was born without affinity in the Force, which resulted in them being the ultimate disgrace among the Sith. They were considered thus worthless and had been enslaved, and subsequently Inquisitor was born from perhaps rape or either. Anyway, Charles Boyd actually did respond to this and gave us a bit of clarification, meaning they hadn't actually thought it through, but they're willing to go with anything. I think the first backstory you have there is more likely than the second, personally. As brutal as the Sith are to one another, there must be cases where a powerful pureblood Sith is overthrown and their surviving family members enslaved, which does sound pretty Sithy to me. It would certainly be quite the trophy for the Sith who overthrew them. If purebloods are held to be the most powerful, then defeating and enslaving them must be seen as an impressive display of power indeed. See, they can just make this stuff up and it sounds perfectly plausible.
Retcon. He can retcon himself, which is amazing. Why not?
Yeah. You know, you got to wonder whether they actually regret the whole... Once Disney took over and the story group, everything they produce is now canon. Because there will be inconsistency, continuity errors. How do they resolve that? Because they can't just say, that one doesn't work. No, that's not canon. That's
the new canon is already huge. Like, it's already way too big. I don't know what they're thinking.
Right.
It's like so
and is
many
it all
comics.
100% consistent? You tell me.
I haven't read all that crap. I can't. Like, there's too much, dude.
There's
so
tons of it, and I mean, even if you stick to the movies and the books, there's a lot, and then there's, the TV shows and the comic books.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Well, I know when they announced this, when they wiped the slate clean and started producing from scratch, I thought, I am going to read it all. I'm going to be completely across the canon because I'm going to be here as it all comes out. They'll just trickle it out. And then just sort of dumped it all on us, and oh my god.
And then they kept dumping it and dumping it.
Yes, they did. Anyway, alright, so that's how Sith purebloods became Inquisitors, maybe.
That's cool. I love how he replied to that. I mean, these guys are busy, but he's so geeked out about the story that he's like, I gotta jump in there. And that's really cool.
Yeah.
But the games don't count, as R2R... Oh, that's AJ, isn't it?
This
R2D2 Arm said. Yep. And Sinwolf said... Oh, sorry, Sinwolf, who's been on the show with Ducky, I believe, is obsessed with reading, listening, watching it all of the new canon. So, Sinwolf, I believe we would like to have you back on to tell us all about the canon and whether it actually makes sense.
What about the new Battlefront 2 story? That appears to be canon coming out.
Yeah, that's the point.
I guess Battlefront 1 didn't have a story, so...
Well, no, you're sort of visiting other stories, sort of. Though there was a battle on Jakku. Not that there was actually a story
which wasn't
there.
in the movie.
Just the results of it. All right, the last bit of news we're going to talk about is Electronic Arts Q4 2017 earnings conference call that was held last week. And if you've been following the stock market, EA have done extraordinarily well since its earnings call. I know the stock market's doing generally excellent because things are going so well at the moment.
Blame Trump. Blame Trump. Blame Obama? Sorry, I didn't know who to blame.
Well, clearly it's his leadership has... Yep, everything's great.
Can we just blame Trump, please? Thank you. Well, let's blame him for all of it.
Whoever you like.
Today.
Okay.
What's happening today?
Oh, the market went down.
Okay.
Oh, that's someone else.
It happens.
Oh.
That's right.
I was trying to blame Trump for EA, generally, and all the sports crap. Okay.
No. Unfortunately, that definitely predated him. So it's probably his fault somehow. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the... I'll just touch briefly on their operating highlights because they did really well and beat expectations, and that always makes investors really, really happy. Something about $3 billion net revenue, which doesn't really say much, but yeah, up 20% year on year. So that's actually pretty good.
That's huge.
Apparently,
Yeah,
they're
that's a
the number one publisher on consoles, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, according to them, in the Western world, in
Wow.
fiscal 2017. And Battlefield 1, that's the World War One version of it, has more than 19 million players joining the game, whatever that means, which is a hell of a lot better than BF4 did. Something about FIFA, but we're not even going to talk about that.
Sports crap.
Yep. In Q4, the average gameplay time per player in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game, reached a new record high, 162 minutes per day.
Whoa. Average.
Average?
That's remarkable. That means some people are just on it all day long.
I'm not getting in there.
What
I
are you
have a
people
list of it.
doing?
Yeah, I can't do it.
How? I don't understand. Oh, and anyway, monthly active users for Q4 for The Sims 4 increased 33% year on year. People still playing The Sims?
I guess.
Sure.
Apparently.
I'm playing it right now.
So anyway, obviously the reason we have any interest in EA at all is because they happen to own BioWare, and BioWare produces The Old Republic. So what did they say about Star Wars The Old Republic in the earnings call or any of the presentation? Nothing.
What? Oh.
No, once again, no mention. However, I did check, and they did appear in the slide pack as one of the active live services. One of the select live services. It's down there, bottom left. I can't remember if they're changing position. I wonder if they changed the icon. There's just logos for the various games.
So we've
No,
become a live service.
there it is. Yep. We're below Madden and to the left of the Battlefront Season Pass.
But look how
Anyway.
gold we are. We're so golden.
Very golden. Very,
Very
very golden. However, we do have a bit of other BioWare news, which is what I particularly wanted to touch on. Well, actually, they just announced a delay, but let's frame it properly. We are very pleased with the progress of our new action IP from BioWare. The design is stunning, gameplay mechanics are excellent, and the action will be exhilarating. The game is built around a live service, and through our creative process, we've decided to add more to the disruptive new social designs for our players. To accommodate that, we are moving the launch date for this project into fiscal year 19.
Oh, boy.
Boo!
Man,
So
sounds
anyway,
cool. What, it's so that statement is so gray, right? It's so nebulous. Like, okay, they said nothing.
Yeah. However, they're very excited about this opportunity for the new franchise, and they wanted to further develop the live service component. What does any of this mean? Somehow it's an action, some new IP. It's an action game or whatever, and they're really integrating with social.
Is that what they mean by live service?
It could be lobby-based, could be integration with social media, could be all of the above. They definitely they've worked out that people with other people, guilds, etc., is a really good way to hook people into your game, and so they're going to bake this in well and truly to whatever this new game is.
So maybe it's it could be like an Uncharted style thing, only with a social aspect, maybe?
Yeah.
They say the Star
Possibly.
Wars game they're making is Uncharted, or that other DICE or
Yeah, which is not this. So new IP, not Star Wars, and because they do talk about that. Our Star Wars action-adventure IP from Visceral will make its debut in fiscal year 19, which is a year or two off. And farther out, we'll have a new Star Wars title from our partners at Respawn. They're continuing to invest deeply in the new IP, including the new game from BioWare and another project from their Motive studio. New IP, again, means not Mass Effect, so obviously not Star Wars, because that doesn't count as a new IP. So Star Wars game coming from Respawn, action-adventure IP from Visceral, which will turn up sooner for Star Wars, and other new IP, including the one from BioWare, which is not Star Wars.
Okay, so the Visceral one is the one we've seen the footage of, right? It looks like maybe a Han Solo game or something. Like it does look like
Possibly.
Uncharted. So.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Given it's got Amy What's-Her-Face helming it, I would assume so. Now, they also said, in response to a question as, what's up with BioWare, Mass Effect Andromeda, yo? They said, a whole lot of stuff saying BioWare's great. Don't you worry about that. And as part of that creative process, and I get to be involved in that creative process, we recognize that there was so much more opportunity in a connected network, social world to do some things in the new BioWare game that has never been done before. We don't think anyone is going to do anytime soon. But by virtue of our network, our cross-platform presence, and our scale, we think we can do that. We chose to give the team some more time to deliver against that innovation because we believe players are looking for the kinds of things that we plan to put into that game. So we're very happy with BioWare. BioWare has continued to support Mass Effect. The new team is doing some amazing things, and you'll hear more about that in the months to come. And it continues to disturb me that whenever they refer to BioWare, they never, ever talk about Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's like there's BioWare in Canada, and then there's BioWare Austin, who were doing Star Wars: The Old Republic, though I thought BioWare Austin were also working on the new IP, so it's very strange. It's like SWTOR is that red-headed stepchild, so to speak.
Yeah, it's funny because they've, even if you just think about the Blur trailers, we know they're investing millions. Just by virtue of the fact that they're willing to pay for a Blur trailer, doesn't that kind of give you an indication of how much they're still spending, like something significant?
No, it tells us they're spending a lot on marketing. Yeah. That's exactly what that tells us.
Okay.
Imagine if they spent all of that money in game development instead.
On the music? Oh, excuse me.
Oh.
Music? Yeah.
Anything, really. All right. Anyway, that's the news.
All right, that'll bring us to the Force Feedback, where we read out your tweets and emails. And Roz Hacks writes, to the OotiniCast, excited to say I'm coming back after a year's hiatus. Finally have been able to order a new computer. Excellent. Would be nice to see you in game. Blay, writing his backlog. Oh yes, I remember this. I like how you can watch me, Chill, grow facial hair using old OotiniCast thumbnails on YouTube. Yes, I did try a few times last year, especially. Yes.
Is he going to animate those? He should animate them all in one. Yeah.
Right, and I replied, yeah, it looks like someone is clicking different options on a character creation screen.
Yeah, it does.
It looks good. Yeah, it's cool.
I will include that in the show notes. You can find it on Twitter as well. It's actually really cool.
Thoromus writes, forget if I mentioned this ages back, but oh well, not sure where you got your theme music from. I just wanted to point out it's always reminded me of this track from Doctor Who. Might be useful to know if you ever need a solemn down-tempo version of your intro or something. And there's a YouTube link.
Yes, it's from Doctor Who Series 6. Which One is the Flesh is the name of the track, apparently.
Nice.
It's a score by Murray Gold, taken from the Doctor Who episode Rebel Flesh / The Almost People. Do you know Murray by any chance?
I've never heard of Murray Gold, but I bet you he's one of the several Doctor Who composers over the years. But my theory is, guys, don't change the theme unless you get somebody to write you one with lyrics. Like OotiniCast lyrics.
Yeah. You are 100% on correct. Yeah, I know. It's well known with podcasting that if you change your theme song, you are in deep, deep, deep trouble. So don't. That would be one case where we would, but yes, we will take your advice, sir.
It is very, very memorable, and it's like part of your brand now. So,
yeah,
exactly. And speaking of, that'll bring us to the Sarlacc Digest, where we go over the issues for 1,000 years, or until we run out of time. And we'll be going over the new music in Kotet and the state of Star Wars music. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by non-JW Star Wars
John
music?
Williams.
Beyond John Williams, of course. Okay, go ahead and take it, Yvonne.
Yeah, sure. I'm excited. I was kind of geeked out over John Williams recently when I took my girlfriend to a John Williams concert, an all John Williams concert.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. And so much music that you don't hear real often. Some of it's concert music, some of it's obscure stuff. It really, really, really fun. So this was good timing when you guys invited me. And I just wanted to kind of look at the state of non-John Williams Star Wars music, because we are now firmly in the non-John Williams Star Wars music era, fortunately. Yep. So we really need to treat the next Star Wars film like it's gold. It's basically gold, a John Williams score. And let's hope we have many more to enjoy. But now we're getting more music that is not John Williams than we are getting John Williams. So this is a transitionary phase, and it's a great time for us to look at what's happening. So I thought we would look at Kotet and Star Wars: The Old Republic and a little bit of Rogue One to see where we are. Yeah. So I'm going to play through some tracks on, and we'll replace them and make them sound real nice, hopefully, as we go through later. Overall impressions of just, first of all, the Kotet score. The Kotet score is, we just talked about budget. It is an excellent score. I think it's got great composition. It's expensive. It sounds to me like at least a 60-piece orchestra, a live choir. It is not sampled. It's totally real.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And from what I can tell, Kotfi was as well. So when I went back and compared, and I'm going to play all these back to back, you can hear a huge difference between Kotfi and what came before, which was Shadow of Revan. So they did start spending big money on music at the same time that they took that leap forward with Knights of the Fallen Empire. So it was like they doubled down on SWTOR, I feel, at that point, including with the music.
That's good.
It sounds hyper real. Yep. The choir is huge. They're taking breaths. You can hear some mistakes, things that you wouldn't hear with samples. Right. They have live percussion, real percussion, which is expensive. Like if you hire a timpanist, they got to pay them extra money just to bring the timpani. It's crazy expensive. So they did all that. They didn't really spare much. Yeah, so TLDR, Too Long Didn't Read, the budget for the music is still huge compared to Shadow of Revan. So I feel good about Kotet. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Jumping back in time a little bit, the last time I talked to you guys, or it might have been the first time we talked music, I played for you Yoda's theme. And I'm going to play it again real briefly because this is going to be our benchmark for excellent composition in Star Wars. Okay. Like, to me, I feel like it's one of the best Star Wars themes there is. So let's just listen to it. We know all these John Williams things are amazing. These Star Wars themes by John Williams are amazing. But this one in particular... So, of course, what's the first thing that you think of? What's the scene that you think of when you hear it?
I think of Yoda raising the X-Wing out of the muck of the swamp.
And you, Tio?
Yeah, the same.
Yeah, same here. That's what I think of. It's a great moment. Mm. Well, it turns out that the music is rising. It's taking these huge leaps up, and we talked about this before. Leap up, move down. Leap up, move down. And that's a classic composition technique that kind of literally pulls at the heartstrings. Mm-hmm. That is what's happening. So that's what he's doing there, and that's one reason why it's so impactful. Now, we did this last time, but I'm going to do it again. Let's listen to the main theme from Star Wars: The Old Republic, Vanilla SWTOR. Okay, it doesn't have, I'll just come on and say it, it doesn't have the same emotional impact, partly because of it starts and ends in the same place. Which is sort of the equivalent of taking a journey and ending up where you started. Right. Or climbing a mountain and not getting anywhere. Whereas Yoda's theme ends up in a new place. So this is my theory as to why, to me, that theme doesn't speak to me. So I was disappointed with that. Of course, having said that, there's a bunch of amazing music in Vanilla SWTOR. We know that's true, but let's just talk about the themes. Okay. Yep. So, again, staying kind of back in time here. Oh, sorry. Might need to edit that. We're going to now compare that and Yoda's theme to the current, what we would call the contemporary benchmark for Star Wars, John Williams Star Wars. And this is going to be the cue from Force Awakens, where the X-Wings show up. Okay? March of the Resistance. I think this is the right cue. Or it's the Resistance theme. You guys might remember that story I told where I got to meet J.J. Abrams. Okay? Yep. And this is the cue that he mentioned as his absolute favorite cue in the whole movie. When I asked him, he geeked out about this cue. Does it go on a journey, or does it start where it's, is it like SWTOR, or is it like Yoda's theme?
Definitely goes somewhere.
It goes somewhere. It kind of takes you up and higher and forward and forward and forward. And that's what good Star Wars music does.
Yeah. And you could tell musically he could have decided to bring it back down, but he didn't.
Yeah.
There's definitely a few moments in there where he could have returned it right back to the beginning few notes, but instead he keeps going up instead. Exactly.
Those leaps up and a little move down, like you said, but not all the way down, then back up and forward and forward and forward. Now, not to say it's not appropriate depending on the cue, of course, to come back to where you started. And what we're talking about is the exciting Star Wars cues, right? So that's the contemporary example of a good John Williams Star Wars cue. So if you're Michael Giacchino, who wrote Rogue One, if you're Gordy Hobb and the other guys who do SWTOR, this is, of course, they're paying close attention to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare these John Williams cues with, first of all, Rogue One. Okay, so let's do that real quick. Okay, and we're going to compare Rogue One to what we just heard and to the original Star Wars theme. And I found out something that's pretty cool, totally blew my mind. And when you hear it, it's kind of a shocker. Okay, so first of all, we're going to listen to Rogue One theme in its entirety. Or just the theme snippet, okay, the main theme. Now, by the way, this is what happened when the lights went down last Christmas and Rogue One started. And you guys know the feeling that you had when the title card came up. And I think we'll talk about it in a minute. You guys tell me what your feeling was when the title card came up and we heard this sound. Let's listen to it one more time. The next thing that happens is it kind of fades out, and then the movie starts. We didn't get our crawl. And tell me what you guys thought. I loved the movie, but how did you guys feel in that moment? Can you remember the first time you saw it?
I in fact was kind of sort of shocked by even though I knew ahead of time that there wasn't going to be a crawl, it still felt like there should be a crawl there.
Yeah,
it just did.
It made me feel more like it was more a regular adventure movie. That was just the feeling I got.
Yeah, I had exactly both of those feelings. It was under the fact that the crawl wasn't there made it feel it's okay that we're okay with it, right? I guess it feels different, but I felt the same way. Generic adventure movie. Okay, here's my theory on what happened. Let's listen to the Rogue One theme on the piano. Same theme. Here we go. Just simple on the piano. Now here's the original Star Wars Luke Skywalker, heroic theme on the piano. Same key. Putting it in the same key is the key, pun intended. Okay, we're going to do that again. Rogue One. Can you see where I'm going with this? Now we're going to listen to Rogue One, just the first 5 notes. Again. And this. Okay, here they are back to back. Can you tell how they're related? They sound similar, right?
Don't they start on the same note, but they just go somewhere else, somewhere different?
You're on the right track. Yeah, they start on the same 2 notes, and then these 3 in the middle are the same.
Right.
But you hear Rogue One,
they're in reversed.
Yeah, they're in reverse. So here they are. Here's those 3 notes again. So Rogue One is ba 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 ba, and Star Wars is ba 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 ba. Okay, so this is not an accident. Right? It's clearly not an accident. It's engineered, right?
Yeah.
And here's my theory about it, and this is pretty likely, is that this type of thing happens in a project when the theme and the music are being decided upon by a committee, where maybe, I bet you there is more than one version of this moment. The title card is a big deal.
Right.
I'm sure with very little time they had, they tried different stuff, and Giacchino is a freaking genius. But this seems to me like something where, you've got your Disney execs, you've got Gareth Edwards, and on paper he says, Giacchino can say, hey, it's Star Wars upside down. And they can go, oh my God, that's
it
brilliant.
becomes a talking point for
it sounds
version of the
like
music.
it's going to work. It sounds like, oh, this is great, go with it. But that doesn't mean that it sounds like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it has the emotional impact. So to me, this is sad because rather than follow his own, they're making him try to be John Williams rather than follow his own voice. When the Star Destroyers collide at the end, we get a cue that sounds like Lost, which is a beautiful Michael Giacchino cue. And that to me felt like future Star Wars. Like, it's not John Williams. He would just let himself be himself, and they were like, go for it. So anyway, that's what I mean by we're in this weird space. Okay. I can't even tell you what I prefer, but I don't like that theme. It's derivative, and kind of my conclusion on it's derivative. It's not original. And it's not John Williams, so it's a little bit depressing, but that is where we're going. It's either going to be derivative or it's going to be totally different. Okay, now back to our game. How does this apply to our game? And what's going on with SWTOR? Are we derivative? Are we original? How we fit? Well, back to Vanilla SWTOR again. Here's our Vanilla SWTOR theme again. Okay, now it's not that it's a bad theme, but it doesn't have that same evolution that John Williams themes have, right? That journey.
Right.
I kind of feel like it's, we're attached to it, but the reality is it's got all those repeated notes rather than those big leaps like Yoda's theme. That's okay. Let's move forward in time to Shadow of Revan. Now I'm skipping Knights of the Hutt Cartel because I honestly couldn't find whether it really had its own theme. I feel like it might have been developed at the same time as Vanilla, possibly, and they maybe just reused the Vanilla music. So someone correct me on that, please, if they can find the Rise of the Hutt Cartel music. Here's Shadow of Revan theme. You're going to recognize this as Revan's theme. Okay, now to me, this is pretty cool because it's very different. It sounds a little more like Lord of the Rings or something. Yeah. It's got that epic. Mm-hmm. I think this was a great theme. It moves around more. But this was that, you guys might remember when we talked about this score, the whole thing is sampled. And they were super low budget on the music. And if you remember the pirate music on Rishi, which I think is really cool, but it's sampled, it's not real, and it has this bland kind of sound to it. So when we talked about this, you might remember I was kind of bummed out because I was like, well, the era of big budget music for this game is like over.
Yep.
It's low budget. It sounds cheap. There's no real orchestra. I think the music itself, with what the money they had, is still cool. Now, leap ahead to Kotfi, right? What is 4.0? Here's the Kotfi theme. Okay, definitely more on the developmental side. It's got the big choir, and it's real. It's real. Yeah. So I remember, you guys remember the whole hashtag Fallen Empire campaign that happened around that time? And we were very excited, like, wow, this is a big change. And the Blur trailer, and my theory is that they also dumped a big pile of money into this music, which is so cool, right?
Yeah.
It's more emotional.
I never thought about that, but clearly they have,
Yeah, it's great news for us. We get to enjoy. I mean, I'll mention again later, we don't get to hear it very often. I really wish they had stuck it on the loading screen or something so we can enjoy it. I couldn't even figure out which one it was, So, but that's it. That's the main thing. It's really nice. And then the Kotet main theme, bringing us right up to the present. You guys hear all? Do you? Sorry, I'll start that over. Do you guys hear all those leaps?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen to it one more time.
Yep.
Now listen to March of the Resistance again by John Williams. Okay, so you can hear that there's something going on here that's different. We're kind of back into those bigger leaps and more exciting cues, and I think that's a really good sign. And I really love a lot of the music they wrote for Kotet. It's really cool. I think, in a way, kind of my conclusion here is, in a way, we are doing better in the post John Williams era. We're doing better in this game than they are in the movie.
At least so far. Yeah,
so
depending
far,
on what they do for episode 8. Do we hear any?
Oh yeah. Now,
do we hear any new music in the teaser trailer?
Well, that was marketing trailer music, which is not written by John Williams.
Yeah. Okay.
But we can't. That's not in our discussion because that is John Williams' music.
True.
Episode 8. So our discussion is about what's going to happen going forward.
Oh, we've had nothing from the Han Solo movie to compare.
Right. We don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I don't think we even know yet who's scoring it. I could be wrong.
No.
Anyway,
I've heard nothing.
Yeah. Point is, with this game, I feel really, having done a little research here, I feel really good about what they did with this game. And I feel like in some ways, the guys doing the game, Gordy Hobb and the other guys, that guy in particular has done a lot of John Williams kind of sound-alikes.
Yep.
And he's just done a great job, I think, capturing especially the excitement, whereas Rogue One, not necessarily so much. It's not like I played every cue from Rogue One, but as far as the theme goes, I think Kotet is pretty much a win. One last thing to mention, there is if everybody has time, I won't play it now, but there's a cue called Sibling Rivalry in Kotet where we hear textures, John Williams-like textures, and that just means combinations of instruments and motions that sound like John Williams. Okay. And that's another cool way to do it. That's not, instead of just lifting the melodies again and again with the Force melody, like, come on, that's getting pretty old. To use the textures with new content, if that makes sense. The textures are like the shapes and the instrumentation, and that's something that they do in our game like really well, and they do that in Rogue One as well. So that's something that we're going to hear more and more of. Anyway, again, my conclusion, and Kotet's a great score. My only complaint with it is that we don't get to hear more of it. Like, why don't we get to hear it in the open world areas? Why don't we get to hear it in the Alliance base? We only get to hear it in the chapters, which is kind of a shame. And if anybody's listening, I wish you guys would just drop some of these cues into other places so we can hear them again in the game. And that's my little breakdown.
That's
excellent.
Great.
Though
Thanks,
I noticed Arceptor in the chat said that John Williams, he says he wish he would stay 40 forever because he's like 80 or something. And I just looked up, he's 85.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to be entering the world of post-John Williams Star Wars music for everything soon. He's probably got a few years left in him, but working at 85, wow.
I know, and he's like a powerhouse. I don't know how, but I think it's incredible. We really need to just enjoy what we have and really need to appreciate him. If you live in LA, go to the Hollywood Bowl this summer. Don't miss this. Go to the Hollywood Bowl. Hear him with the orchestra this summer, playing all his stuff. You got to do it. I don't mean to be macabre, but just don't miss it.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, mate. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any questions? I mean, does that make sense? Is there anything that's not clear or does that make sense, the things I'm hearing?
you joined the dots really well. So,
okay.
Yeah, let's hear what you're saying. And, yeah, you're right. I just hope they continue to put the money into the music for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you have comments, I love to talk about this stuff, clearly. So please hit me up on Twitter at PerComposer, PER Composer. And I love to talk
include that in the
about
show notes as well. So,
all right.
Yes.
Absolutely. And will you let us know when your show when you're no longer under NDA about it?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
I would love
Can't
for
wait.
you guys to hear it. Absolutely.
Excellent.
Do you have a
Good.
general timeline frame when that might be?
It's pretty far away. It's development. Like the music is being written along with the scripts, which is kind of cool. Like
That is
the
cool.
idea, the themes. So it's pretty far
Good
down the road.
idea.
There's all this crazy, as we all know, the development happening with these companies right now is so exciting. There's like work for everybody. Some of them will fly and some of them will not. So we'll see which one this ends up as.
Fingers crossed for you, mate.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, Evelyn. And that's a show. All right. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Harbinger server, or in our Guild on the Empire side, do a /cjoin Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to utinicast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @UtiniCast. You can find contact details for all of us on our website, utinicast.com, which includes how to subscribe to us using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live semi-bi-weekly on Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Go to utinicast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. Thank you to the chat room, and thanks, Ivalon.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Wow, that was really fun.
Continue recording, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. We'll either be back next week or the week after, depending what happens. Given the amount of, just revisiting our decision to go bi-weekly, the amount of content that we're getting out of the game in terms of news from BioWare, 2 weeks is actually working out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we're really falling behind, but yeah, well, I guess we'll continue to monitor the situation and
Yeah, exactly.
change course accordingly.
Right. I imagine when, like, either, if an expansion notification drops or close to an expansion, those times, might require more time.
Increase our tempo.
All of us are addicted to this podcast, you guys. We love hearing it. So, but we get it. I mean, it takes a pretty Herculean effort. So, the more the better, but we get it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, guys. Have a good week. Weeks. May the force be with you and or serve you well. All right, Jill, take us out.
All right.